teacher. I'm here today with Kung Fu Hamster, who's filling in for the cameraman. And we are filming this a little bit after New Year's. And before we get too far back into the normal work routine, I have a challenge that I need to figure out. Don't know if it's going to happen here, but we're going to give it a shot. A little bit over a year ago, we shot a film about Cobbler, several films about bacon and Cobbler. And unfortunately, the doctor told me to cut back on sugar. So that means that a cobbler, the type of cobbler we did last year, has about a little over half a pound of sugar, which I'm not supposed to have. So can I make a fruit cobbler that contains a minimum amount of sugar? That's the challenge. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but you're all welcome to come join me and we'll find out together. So here we have a Dutch oven. We lined it with foil. We greased it before we put the foil in, and we greased the top of the foil. And instead of putting in canned fruit or pie filling like we would generally do, we want to minimize the sugar. So we're going to use fresh fruit. So we're putting in some fresh blueberries. And we're going to put in 2 pints. And to give it a little tart taste, we are putting in gooseberries. I just happen to have a couple of gooseberry bushes from which these blueberries came last spring, and so I froze them for this fact. So it's not exactly fresh, but it's still going to have a tart flavor. And we're going to put approximately the same amount in. I eyeball it. So I say that's roughly the same amount. And we're going to stir them up. Now, what kind of fluid are we going to have? Well, I'm going to have some Diet Sunkist. It's going to be liquid, so we'll do the job that the liquid's supposed to do while cooking the cobbler, and yet have a sweet taste. Now, how is that going to affect the cobbler? I don't know. That's the mystery. Now we are going to we're going to make an estimate. And we generally put in, if this was a peach pineapple cobbler, I would put in about 2.5 cans of juice. But I'm going to put in about 3 or 4. We'll see what 2 looks like. We'll go for 3 and see what that looks like. 3 I think is the charm. We're going to put just a little bit more because I have a feeling that this is going to boil off a little bit quicker than the syrup. And I do not know what the effect the carbonation is going to have. That's going to be interesting. As far as the cake mix, my favorite is Jiffy cake mix. Not muffin mix, but cake mix. And it comes in white or yellow. Good luck finding it. That's all I got to say about that. And we spread it out. And last year I used a sieve. I do not have one right now, and we're doing this right off the cuff, so I'm going to go back after I dump these 2 things and try to get out the big bumps, or big lumps. try to break down the lumps and spread out it as evenly as we can without pushing the cake mix into the liquid. And the last thing we do is I have a stick of sweet unsalted butter, and this is Land of the Lakes, but it could be anything. It could be margarine. You'll get a different result, a different taste with margarine. And I've cut it up into little small squares in which I'm going to distribute around the top. You could have some sort of liquid margarine, just kind of spray it on there and experiment. Of course, you'll have a little bit different taste, and it might affect the cooking time, but that's part of cooking, experimentation. At least I think it should be. Well, once you get the butter placed on top of everything, you put the lid on. You put it into an oven, or the fun way is charcoal, but for the necessity of time, I'm going to use the stove. The stove's been preheated to 375 degrees. Some people prefer 350. This is called experimentation, so I'm going to put it at 375. And we slide it in. So after you put the cobbler in the oven, we're going to leave it in there for 45 minutes. I'll probably check it between 40 and 45 minutes to see how it's cooking. In the meantime, you can use your time while you're waiting for some other productive purpose. Alright, we baked this cobbler for 45 minutes, and then we started checking on it every 5-10 minutes. It has now been 1 hour and 10 minutes, and we're going to see what we come up with. Yeah. So you can actually see the orange flavoring or coloring from the sun-kissed popping up to the surface in some areas. You see the blueberries indicating that the interior had been bubbling. We do see a little brown around the edge, which means it was getting hot and was setting up. It was starting to get a little bit too hot around the edge, and we don't want that to happen very much. So we're going to test the middle and the sides with the age-old device of a clean knife, and it is clean. Put over here, it is practically clean, and probably the middle is still a little bit underdone. Yes, it is, but it's going to set up as it cools, and I think we're going to go with what we have. So we're going to get a little bit. Oh my goodness. You can see the gooseberries, you can see the blueberries. Very slurpy. So basically you have a berry soup with a crust of cake mix on top. Well, of cake. So we'll let it set up. If it had been pie filling or a syrup, then it might, or if I had less liquid, probably 2 cups instead of 3, you wouldn't have so much liquid in there. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but we're going to give it a taste. And it should taste the sweetness of the pop and the blueberries counteracted by the tartness of the gooseberry. Very interesting. Very definitely taste the gooseberries and the sweetness. It's not quite the same when you have the syrup in it, however. Again, that we might have fixed that with less pop. Be something to shoot for next time we do this. I hope you and yours have had a very happy holiday season, and that you'll have a productive and a happy new year. And a special shout out to my buddy Answer Girl, who did come around and spent Christmas, her first Christmas as a married woman. Yes, she came home for the holidays. Unfortunately, I was with relatives across the state, so we didn't exactly meet. So maybe later on this year. Anyway, she married her college sweetheart, and they made their nest out of state, and it was very nice for them to come back and spend a little Christmas time with her folks. So we are hoping good things for them. Too bad they didn't have any cobbler though. But guess what? She knows how to bake one. See you next time. Oh, this is good.